Na dziesięciolecie projektu Siesta w drodze Pat Metheny na swojej najdłuższej w Polsce trasie. No to jest dla mnie najważniejsza postać w muzyce. Artysta, na którego sztuce się wychowałem, słuchałem go 40 lat temu i przez te wszystkie dekady zaskakiwał mnie każdym swoim kolejnym projektem. 20 nagród Grammy, współczesny Mozart i Leonardo w jednym. I wędrować z nim, słuchać go co wieczór, uczyć się od niego, to jest wielkie przeżycie, to jest doznanie, które będzie ze mną, jestem przekonany, z nami wszystkimi tutaj, którzy słuchamy jego koncertów na resztę życia.
I've been really lucky because when I started playing professionally, I was 14 in Kansas City with musicians that obviously were a lot older than me. And even now, I played not that long ago with Roy Haynes, who's 96 now, but also I've always hired people based on what they can do. And you know, the newer guys are really obligated in a lot of ways to do the same thing all of us have had to do in this music, which is to learn the sort of language of it and then, you know, have something to talk about, have something to say in it. What's different now is that there's a lot more fluency. There's lots more people who can kind of, you know, deal with the language. But in fact, it turns out there's not that many people who have a story to tell, who kind of have a way of bringing something to life in the music that is something important to them. And that's really what I look for more than anything. However, I do need a very high degree of fluency because of the kind of music that I do, which is quite complicated harmonically. It has to be somebody who really has a deep understanding of harmony, and then also has the kind of understanding of harmony where they can sort of forget the harmony too. And that's a real small group of people in any generation. I've always said it's like it can be people from anywhere on the planet at any age, and if you're going to say, okay, let's play fill in the blank of a tune, and somebody goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, from that moment on, we're all in it together, and nothing matters except what does it sound like. My main job for all these years has been really the same. I write a bunch of music and then I find the best people to play that music. Along the way, I've had all these different identities, the Pat Metheny Group, the trio, the side-eye. I mean, honestly, they're all the Pat Metheny Group. They all operate exactly the same way, which is I'm going to write music that I'm interested in at a particular time, and also be aware of who seems to be the best people I can get to play it. And sort of a mix of those two things kind of sends me in a direction to write stuff that has an identity to it, that is hopefully something distinct. And in this case, because I've sort of gotten so good at having these bands that have, like, it's specifically this person and specifically that person, in some ways that locks me in, and so I kind of wanted to write music where I could get a lot of different people to play it. And the focus for me on this round has been trying to utilize the incredible talents of musicians that are new in New York, younger guys from all over the place, who have not necessarily had the opportunities to get the kind of attention of playing on an international level on a tour like this. So, I have a list of about 25 people who could be in this band. And my plan, I don't know if I'll actually get to it, is to use all of them at some point. And that's sort of the general idea here. But honestly, people I think are always surprised at the different things that I do, and also that they have a sort of connection with each other. And that's good. That's what's supposed to happen. All of my favorite musicians historically had a kind of sonic identity that they could bring, into the air in lots of different ways. So that's always been a goal for me too.
Drodzy Państwo, proszę przywitać go z miłością. Pat Metheny!
I feel very privileged in a lot of ways to have been able to experience the transition that has happened here across, you know, many, many decades at this point. Because I came here in the 80s, you know, when Poland was in black and white, basically. I mean, it was a different country. And to see that turn into what it is now has been an incredible journey for me. And what has been consistent across all those years is the deep musicality of the audience here. The first time that I came here, I think not many American bands had even come here. It was rare, especially to do a tour around the country. So I think people would come to the Jazz Jamboree in Warsaw, but we were able to really go around. It's maybe not appreciated how deeply ingrained good music is to the culture here. Of course, it's connected to classical music, but to me it goes beyond that because it's something I've seen, you know, like I say, across now what would be 3 generations of audiences. And that's really special and really unique, and I feel very fortunate to have had that experience, but especially that people continue to come to the concerts and that they follow the music, and that more than anything, it seems to have a place in, you know, some of their lives that's significant. And that's a real privilege for me as a musician.